Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about the most disappointing NBA teams this regular season. Like I've been saying in a lot of my videos, the regular season is in its last leg. We know who's who, we know who's what, barring any major injuries. What teams' expectations are, how their season is most likely going to plan out. So today I want to talk about the most disappointing teams in the league. Just because, to be honest with you, I'm disappointed. I don't know, man. I had some high hopes for a lot of teams going into the season. I watched my going into the season video standings predictions, and I was off on a couple things. I was off on a couple things. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong, y'all. So let's go ahead and start with the Eastern Conference. Before we move on, though, I want to shout out the sponsors of this video, Prize Picks, my personal favorite way to play daily fantasy sports. All you got to do is go on their website, download their app, and sign up for an account. They got a bunch of different leagues up top with a bunch of different statistics, and all you got to do is guess right on some of their picks, man. And I'll show y'all how to do it right now. I never go against Jokic. I think he can get 25 points tonight, man. You got Kyrie Irving facing the Golden State Warriors today, man. I think Kyrie's going to turn back the clock. Bring us back to those old 2016 battles against Steph Curry. And I'm going to go more on Kyrie Irving right there. I'm going to put $15 on the entry for a chance to win 45. Place entry, and boom, that is how you place an entry. And thanks to our friends over at Prize Picks, you guys can use code SLZ to get a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. Links for that will be in the description down below. And shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring this video. I'm going to start off with the Milwaukee Bucks, man. I understand on your screen you see them as the 2 seed, but you see the discrepancy as well between them and the number 2 Boston Celtics. Now, to be fair, they did go through 2 coaching changes, one at the beginning of the season, one in the middle of the season. To be fair, I believe the Bucks haven't been as healthy as the Boston Celtics, but hey, the coaching shit that's something they chose to do. I can't even lie. So, and with just how they've been playing going into the season, I really thought it was going to be a 2-man race between the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks. I had both of them winning roughly 60 games, maybe a scenario where one wins 58, another wins 56. But at the end of the season, I felt like it was supposed to be clear cut that the Celtics and the Bucks were the 1 and 2 teams in the East. You can still make that case today, but not as strong as I would hope. Like it should have been much closer to me. And that's why they're disappointing me. Damian Lillard, I thought was going to have a more consistent season this season. Giannis is having a phenomenal season himself. But Dame has been disappointing. He's had moments, he's had stretches, but Dame, for the first time, having as much help, having the most help he's ever had in his career, being paired with a guy that, in my opinion, is perfect for him, a pick and roll partner, a guy who can run the break, a lob threat. You know what I'm saying? You can not cover Dame on defense, but just the idea of surrounding Dame with defenders, and now you have a DPOY level defender on your team. That's always a good thing. The fact that they aren't killing motherfuckers every night is disappointing. So I'm gonna go with the Milwaukee Bucks to start off. The next team that I want to bring up is the Philadelphia 76ers. And it has nothing to do with how they were playing with Embiid. I'm going to be honest with you, it just has everything to do with Joel Embiid's injury. I was very doubtful. If anything, I was doubtful for the 76ers going into the season. I will say that. I was not high on them. But very early on in the season, I was able to figure out that, this team, Joel Embiid is playing different this year, which is saying a lot because this is a perennial MVP candidate as is. Tyrese Maxey, in my opinion, just gives. I think he's better for the team than James Harden, just because of how well he moves off ball, his ability to run the transition, all of these things. With Tyrese Maxey and Nick Nurse just implementing a new system in play. I personally like the ball movement that I've seen from the 76ers much more this year than in prior seasons. The offense was not as stagnant as seasons prior, but I can't front. That team is built around Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is one of the most valuable players in the league. Some might even argue is the most valuable player in the league. You would have to be really nasty to do that, but it is what it is. There are a lot of nasty 76ers fans. And it's just disappointing to me because if Joel Embiid did not get injured, with the way that we're playing, I personally feel like they would be as good as Milwaukee right now. Like there would be the top three clear-cut teams in the East would be the Celtics, the Bucks, and the Sixers. The Bucks and the Sixers would probably be in their own tier. But as much as the Celtics dogged the 76ers, with Embiid, I still would not want to see them in the playoffs with the way they were playing. It's just disappointing how injuries played out. Now, Joel Embiid still might come back by the end of the season. I am hoping he doesn't, not just because I'm a Celtics fan who does not want to see Embiid, but because of Embiid's injury history, what his injuries were. I would hate for the 76ers to just rush Joel Embiid back just for the sake of this title run. And I think that would say a lot about the 76ers franchise if they rush him back. Because, hey, I ain't gonna lie, once he went down, they were already low-key on the hot seat for their history with Joel Embiid and other players in the past. So, if they bring him back, I'm gonna be hella disappointed. Speaking of disappointed, the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls stagnation is disappointment to me in today's NBA. With player movement being so prevalent today, you sitting on your ass for 2 to 3 years is just unacceptable at this point, especially when you do not have an extremely young core that you're just developing and waiting for them to develop into a title contender and slowly rebuild, and especially if you do not have one of the top teams in the league. You know, I would much understand you being stagnant for 2 to 3 seasons if for the last 2 to 3 seasons you've been a perennial 60 to 65 win team, or even not even that, but a 55 win team, and you're on some if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But even then, as we will see with another Western Conference team, that's not good to me either. You know, and the Chicago Bulls is staying like there's a lot of really good players on that team that, in my opinion, would be so valuable in different situations. So valuable. DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso, Lonzo. I know he's not healthy, but Lonzo's in that category as well. Big Vooch could be valuable on another team. There's so many players on that team that, in my opinion, could be so valuable on other squads, but because the Chicago Bulls want to sit on their ass, Zach LaVine. I'm tripping. I forgot all about Zach LaVine. But because the Chicago Bulls just want to sit on their ass and not do anything, they're literally just wasting people's time. Literally just wasting people's time. Another disappointing team. I guess the Heat, but not really. The Heat, to me, at this point, I truly don't care what they do in the regular season. I always care about how they finish the season. And how they play. Once I see how they play in the first round, then I'm gonna have a better gist of how, you know, what my expectations are for that team. But what are you looking at? But yeah, the Heat, you know, if I'm them, I personally wouldn't want to go through the play-in tournament if I don't have to. So I would like to see the Heat tee up a little bit. But stop. God damn it, Buzz. You are literally barking at nothing. But yeah, I would like to see the Heat to tee up a little bit and move up to that 6th seed. But not too much on the Heat. The Atlanta Hawks, another disappointing team. This was my hot take of the year. I thought the Atlanta Hawks, after what I saw from them in the first round, was a team that I was very high on. I thought I saw something there against the Celtics. I thought Trae Young was going to have one of his... he low-key is having the best season of his career, but I thought it would be still better than what he's producing so far. I thought they were going to develop a bigger defensive identity this season. Maybe DeJounte Murray reclaim some of the defensive identity that he was brought in for. DeAndre Hunter, you know, Clint Capella and the crew. And I've always liked Quinn Snyder as a coach. So, I don't know. I just personally expected much more from this team, and didn't really pan out. Now they're just in no man's land. Do you still continue to build around Trae Young, knowing what those realistic options are. Do you blow it up and trade? I don't know. I don't know what's going on in Atlanta. It's just disappointing because, again, it wasn't too long ago when they were in the Eastern Conference Finals and we were looking at them as a squad that had really high potential because of the age of their stars and of their young talent, which is why, again, we cannot take every season for granted, bro. When you got a good season, I would gun for it. Unless there's injuries, major injuries involved like the 76ers. If you got yourself a season, one of them seasons, gun for it, in my opinion. And we'll talk about another team in the West when it comes to that. Aside from that, I will say this: the Detroit Pistons disappointed me. I thought they were going to take a leap similar to what the Orlando Magic made this season. And for them to arguably get worse is kind of crazy. For them to have the longest losing streak in NBA history this same season is crazy. Yeah, that was just really disappointing. That was just really disappointing to see. And the Charlotte Hornets, I don't know what's Charlotte, man. I like LaMelo as a talent, but something's wrong in Charlotte, bro. I don't know. I don't pay attention enough to Charlotte, to be honest with you, to really point that out. But I just feel like Charlotte has drafted well enough and has talent on their team to be better than what they are. I know LaMelo's been injured this season too, but I don't know, bro. Can I just get one good season from the Hornets? I just want to see that. Okay. Moving over to the Western Conference, I'm gonna start off my disappointment with. Let's go with the Phoenix Suns. New Orleans, to me, will kind of always be disappointing to me because I know what they can be if Zion just Zioned, for a lack of a better term. So they will always be disappointing to me until Zion, if Zion ever fulfills his potential. But that would be kind of a Mickey argument, right? But yeah, the Phoenix Suns, my God. I was very critical with this team in the offseason, but I was still optimistic about what they were going to be as a regular season team, right? I thought all of the weaknesses, all of the criticism that I had for the Phoenix Suns was shit that was going to be detrimental to them by the end of the season. The lack of depth, the relying on injury-prone stars, the lack of defense, right? All of these things I thought was going to play out as the reason as to why they would not win the championship, right? As a team that motherfuckers were trying to put the super team label on, I was on the tip of, okay, they're going to be a good team, but X, Y, and Z is the reason why. At the end of the day, for a team who's trying to win a championship or bust damn near because of the expectations when you pair Devin Booker with KD and Bradley Beal, I thought these were going to be the reasons as to why they were going to be eliminated in the playoffs. And while I will say they do still have a puncher's chance, and they are one of those teams where I could say all of this, man, but KD and D Booker on the other side of the court, right? They have been disappointing. I thought they were going to be a great regular season team. I'm going to be honest with you. But the fact that out of the three, and let me double check, I am pretty sure out of the 3 stars that they have, the healthiest person is KD. Bradley Beal played 36 games. D-Book played 51. Yeah. Out of their 3 stars, the healthiest dude is the dude who's in year 17, age 35, is crazy to me. The fact that their healthiest player on the team is Yusuf Nurkic, who is injury prone himself. 52 last season, 56 the season prior, 37-8. Like the last truly healthy Nurkic season was in 2019. When I was a freshman in college. You know what I'm saying? That is their healthiest player this season. Like that scares me. And the depth going into the season, man. I will say this. There's a couple of players that, okay, y'all, They're good. Specifically Grayson Allen. Boy, oh my goodness. 13 points a game, shooting 47% from three is crazy. Grayson Allen has been a fantastic addition to this team, and I was high on them signing Grayson Allen. Another guy who somehow, someway always remains to be solid is Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon giving you 12 points a game, still shooting 38% from three on 6 threes a game. That's great production. But some of the guys that y'all were pushing, and they may still be solid for what their, contract is, but the way y'all were making it seem like the Phoenix Suns really found these gems that depth wasn't going to be an issue. Bringing up names like Josh Okogie, Drew Eubanks, Keita Bates-Diop, Yuta. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Bull's been turning up. But you should like Chamezi. Like, y'all are literally... you would be lying to me if you were saying that the Phoenix Suns were not grasping for straws for these role players. But yeah, everything that I pointed out that was going to be a problem for this team has been a problem for this team. And then some, to be honest with you. And then some. It's bad. It's bad with the Phoenix Suns. So that's why, in my opinion, they are disappointing to me. The Sacramento Kings, man, disappointing. This is not to say that they're a bad team, okay? Let me just clarify that right now. I'm not saying they're a bad team. I'm also not telling them to blow it up or anything like that. I just thought after the season that they had last season, with light the beam, let's light the beam, young squad, how they were playing, like historically great offense. I thought there was gonna be a leap this season. I'm sorry. I thought there was. And them being a playing team by the end of the season is disappointing. I don't really know how else to put it. I'm not as high on this core as I was a year prior. I just need to remind y'all, last year, Draymond Green was going on podcasts saying that he saw a lot of them with the Sacramento Kings. And if I ask you in the next 5 years, who has, the brightest future in the Western Conference, OKC, in my opinion, clearly has a brighter future. I would say in the next 5 to 6 years, Denver still has a brighter future. I think it's important to understand that, I think Jamal Murray's 26, 27, maybe 28, right? Jamal Murray is 27. Jamal Murray's 27, and Jokic is 29. So even 5 years from now, 6 years from now, Jamal Murray's going to be 32. Jokic is going to be 35, 36. You look at how some of these players are playing later into their 30s. I still think in 5-6 years, this team, barring anything catastrophic, and let me see how old Aaron Gordon is too. Barring anything catastrophic, Aaron Gordon is 28. MPJ is 25. I still think the Denver Nuggets have a brighter future than the Sacramento Kings. The Timberwolves, there's a couple guys that may regress over the next 5 to 6 years, but they got that one guy that's supposed to take astronomical leaps in the next 5 to 6 years. I would even look at the San Antonio Spurs as a team that has a brighter future than the Sacramento Kings, right? Don't sleep on the Grizzlies too. I don't know, bro. And I'm just disappointed with them with the lack of moves that they made in the offseason. The Western Conference got better. Denver got better. OKC got better. Denver, they got some role players that were like hidden gems this season. I thought the Bruce Brown hit was gonna be bigger for them than it was, but nevertheless, Minnesota got better, right? The Clippers got better. Phoenix got better. The Pelicans, did they get better? I mean, Zion's healthier this season, so in my opinion, they got better. OKC got better. I don't know if I already mentioned them. And the Sacramento Kings, in my opinion, just stayed too stagnant. Stayed way too, like, Did they make any moves at the trade deadline? I don't even think they did. Did they sign anyone in the offseason? They may have extended someone, but this looks like the exact same team from last season. And they didn't really make any moves. I would love to see, and the one thing they were really, the one thing that separated them from the rest of the crowd was their offense. And they went from the number one offense in the league to the 12th. So I don't know. Sacramento disappointed me. I can't lie. Dallas, I can say they're disappointed, man. If anything, they overachieved a little bit. LA disappointed me. I'm not gonna lie. LA, I thought after the Western Conference Finals last season, it was clear that they had all the tools to be one of the top teams in the West. And going into the season, I personally felt, even with the Darvin Ham discourse peaking at a certain point in the season, I felt that they truly didn't need to make that many moves in the trade deadline. I felt as if the talent, I mean, they could have made some moves to address a couple things, make improvements, you know what I'm saying, have a net positive trade deadline, right? But I always thought the talent that this team needed to not only make it deep into the playoffs, but to win a championship is already there. It is already there, right? The biggest factors is just, can Darvin Ham maximize what is in front of him? Can LeBron stay healthy? And can AD stay healthy? Those are the biggest three questions with this team. And LeBron and AD answered the question. It just seemed like Darvin Ham was the dude who didn't answer the call with the lineups, the adjustments that he was making. It was just bad. So to me, the Los Angeles Lakers did disappoint, but they've definitely been turning up. They definitely will have to dig themselves out of a hole, but they are playing good basketball to end the season, in my opinion. And once again, they are one of the teams that I would not want to face in the first round at all. I do not want to face LeBron and AD in the first round if I'm the Oklahoma City Thunder. I ain't gonna lie. Because Denver got LA's number, man. I can't front. Yo, I can't front, man. LA gonna have to take that from Denver, but yeah, Denver got LA's number. I personally wouldn't be. It wouldn't be the favorable matchup. It wouldn't be the matchup that I would want if I'm the Denver Nuggets. I think out of these 7 teams, I would want the Lakers last. You know what I'm saying? Give me the Warriors. You know, give me the Kings after that. Give me Dallas after that, and give me the Lakers after that. But yeah, they're gonna have to dig themselves out of a hole, man. And the Golden State Warriors, definitely disappointing. But if you look at how many talented teams are in the West, that is just the nature of the standings. Someone had to disappoint. You know, someone had to improve from last season because of the young talent in the league, certain moves that teams made. Someone had to improve. Also, someone had to move down. And I think at the end of the season, the teams that moved up were the Thunder, was the Timberwolves, and you can argue the Pelicans. The teams that moved down were Sacramento, were Golden State, LA, and you can argue Phoenix. Yeah, you can argue Phoenix. Yeah, outside of those teams, no one else really disappointed in the West. I mean, the Rockets, I thought they were going to be closer to the play-in scuffle by the end of the season with how they were playing early in the season, so that was kind of disappointing. The Magic, I thought they were going to hold on to the top 2, top 3 seed a little bit stronger than they did, so that was a little disappointing. But these are still net positive seasons for these teams, so I can't really say they're disappointing to me. With that being said, though, let me know which teams have disappointed y'all. Which teams have disappointed y'all in the comment section down below. And I'm out, man. Peace.